Welcome to the main focus. This is our workshop edition, our very first workshop edition, and today's guest is Mr. Rio Vidrio. And he's going to go and detail out how he began his podcast. Now, on a personal level, podcasting has completely shifted my perspective on how to communicate a message, on how to market my brand, and how to continue to be in the forefront of our clientele base, right? Whether it's for our coaching program through the work or through the agents here at, trying to attract agents here to A's and Associates. But it's more than that. It's actually providing value, real life experiences, giving a little bit of my personality of what's going on in my life, my perspective. And what that's done is really honed in my skills on how to communicate effectively, how to public speak, right? And it added a whole entirely new dimension to my branding. When you do a podcast, your audience will view you differently. They'll see you as different, different entities of who you are. The professional, the personal guy, the podcaster, the video person. So I think it's crucial in today's market to add this dimension. And I think if you take this seriously and you commit to doing this on a consistent basis, it's gonna just alter your business moving forward. Today, I wanted to bring in an individual who has taken this step. And I held something like this a while back, and there was only a couple of people that actually went forward. And those individuals have taken their businesses to another level. So one of them was Rio, and the other was Jermaine. And I think we had a couple other podcasters that are no longer here, but it definitely just changed their perspective, right, of what is possible. But Rio, how did you decide to start your podcast?
So a lot of the points that you were bringing up right now are super valid, and I'll kind of get into that and how that's helped me on my personal level. But originally it started as myself and Jesse, my partner. We started our podcast, the Those Bros in a Pod, and we just had an idea. I mean, we honestly haven't really known each other that long. We met around this time last year or 2 years ago, but we just we shared an office, and then we were just kind of thinking we have a great time. We shoot the shit, we make each other laugh. We got great stories. We're going through a lot of these, great transformations. So let's find a way to showcase that and put that out there. So we worked on it, and we were kind of in that situation where we were just kind of in maybe land. We're like, we'll do it eventually.
Maybe,
we'll maybe.
Sounds like a good idea.
Yeah. I did the old, hey Z, what equipment do I need? You gave me the list, and I didn't buy it. The list just sat there. You had that meeting. And coincidentally, it was around the same time that you were doing your 12-week targets. Mm-hmm. So then Jesse and I decided, you know what, that'll be our 12-week target. We're going to start our podcast. There's no more second guessing it. We're just going to do it. And it's just crazy. I mean, to kind of see yesterday when I was looking at some of our original videos when we first started, just the growth. And I'll play some of the video of our very first episode and some of the video of our most recent episode. To kind of just see the growth and just to see how we've transformed as a pair, as a group. We're doing this together. But then there was another meeting that you had, maybe 2-3 months ago, where you were like, all right, well, you guys are doing a podcast. Now it's time to market your own brand.
Yes.
So then we decided that we're each going to do our individual shows, right?
Yes.
So Jesse, he started his, which is the Agent You Select Matters. Mine is The Real Deal. And it's been a really cool experience because now, we have this group effort, right? But now it's we have our own separate brands and we get to market ourselves separately. Mm-hmm. So it's just kind of transformed and evolved, and that's kind of the...
And that's the thing. You said a good thing. It says the evolution, right? The evolution of it and setting the targets. What ends up happening is when you start doing things like this, it's not going to come natural. I mean, it takes practice. It takes many hours of practice, but you'll see the progression in as little as 6 months, and you'll see a complete transformation in a year. For me, it all started, and for you as well. You just didn't come onto this and start, just talking on a podcast. You actually conditioned yourself to get there, right? What was that challenge like?
So I'll relate this. It was a really funny story. So a long time ago when I first started, I had talked to you about buying Zillow leads, right? And this kind of connects. And I said, hey man, I can't find any business. I'm going to buy Zillow leads. And you told me, you said, well, first you need to do the reps. First you need to take a step back because you're going to spend all this money on leads and you're not going to know what to do with them. And that's exactly what I did. So with podcasting, it was the same thing. Had I went and spent all this money on this podcast equipment and not had the reps not have the proper way to speak, not have the proper way to kind of speak off the cuff, it would have been a waste of money. I would have been one of those statistics that you said earlier, which was, what was the statistic? Podcasters that
after 12 episodes, they're done.
Yeah, so I would have been one of those statistics had I not had the reps. So in addition, a part of that 12-week target that we had was create the podcast, but in addition, it was shooting selfie videos every day. And so this was last year, so by this time I'm already been in the business for 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
And since I started at the brokerage, that's been something that you've told us.
That's something that we still preach to this day, right?
Videos.
Like how many times have you guys heard me about these selfie videos on how important it is to just speak? It doesn't have to be good, it just has to be done. And you'll get good, right?
Yes, yeah.
And that was the foundation for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Like that gave me the reps to feel comfortable and confident enough to just go on camera with myself and Jesse, and just to deliver a message and command that authority. Like you're no longer asking for permission at that point. You're saying, hey, I'm an expert at this, or this is what I'm doing. You're gonna sit there and enjoy the show, or you can turn away. But regardless, I really didn't care anymore. Had I gone straight into doing a podcast prior to doing the selfie videos, I would have been in my head too much.
Like, what do I talk about?
What do I talk about? Yeah. And I was very deliberate when Jesse and I, when we started doing our podcast, I told him, I said, all right, cool, because he had a really good foundation on podcasts. He's a big podcast listener. I said, I just want to do everything live. Like, I don't want to do pre-recorded stuff.
Yes.
Like, I want to just make sure that we're recording live on Facebook.
Yes.
And then we'll take that content, extract it, we'll throw it on iTunes, we'll throw it on YouTube. And then that I feel is just a much more natural way to do it.
It is a natural way. Like every time I have to do these pre-recorded like segments, it's a difficult time for me. Like it is so difficult to try to remember what I'm trying to say as opposed to just having a natural conversation. So I would challenge you as well, like what Rio is saying. If you really want to take this podcasting seriously, you have to take the initial steps of doing the reps on Facebook Live. Like, it sounds daunting, but it's something that's going to condition you. Otherwise, you're going to run into this roadblock where you don't know what to talk about, you don't know where to go from there, and what that does is allows you to think off the cuff, to be able to bring examples in the moment, because you're constantly just talking in the moment, as opposed to trying to think of how to make it perfect, right?
Yeah.
And I think that is a real natural way just to start going. So what would you say, how many days would you say that they do a Facebook Live video before they start this process here?
I did 90 days just because that was part of the training that we're in, but I mean, I would say just set a target and do 30 days. To start, you're gonna have a crutch. Your crutch is probably gonna be your kids, your dog. That's how I started. When I was looking at my old videos, when I first started doing selfie videos, the very first one that I did as a realtor was myself and my daughter at Chick-fil-A. And I was just so scared, and I had her in the video, and she was my crush. And it's just crazy to see how far I've come since then with my confidence on camera. So you guys will have that. Like you're gonna have butterflies, anxiety, and eventually though, just slowly you're gonna get your groove. Slowly you're gonna get your style. Slowly you'll laugh at yourself on camera, and it just kind of turns into people will see your true personality come through. And there's just so many benefits to it. When you meet people, they feel like they already know you. You really aren't selling yourself anymore. At that point, you pretty much sold them. The fact that they called you, the fact that they took the time to text you or message you on Facebook, you've already done 90% of the work. Now it's just a matter of sealing the deal. Like it makes a big difference.
It makes a huge difference. And I just had Edgar on one of our coaching calls, and you were actually even surprised. Wow, I did really good. I communicated so well, but you've also done the reps with the Facebook Live videos where it's like a natural progression, right? If you're constantly in a place where you're having those conversations, teaching, showcasing, highlighting your day, highlighting your life, anything you do, whether you're on other people's podcasts, if you're on a video show, whatever it may be, on live, you're going to be able to communicate a more powerful message each and every time because the reps are in there. The reps are in there. But, we see this all the time where people are not consistent with their videos because there's no lead up to that.
Yeah.
There's no lead up to that. So when they pay all this money to actually get a video done, it's one in a blue moon just because they can't keep up the consistency because they're like, okay, what do I talk about next? So now we have the foundation of how important it is. He's recommending about 30 days of Facebook Live videos before moving into this, because it is a huge investment. It's an investment. It really is. Now, I don't want that to be a hindrance for you not to start your podcast. But if you got those reps, commit to just doing it, and you'll get better and better each time. I look at my videos all the time, I'm like, what the hell is that thing?
Yeah.
It's like, this is so dumb. But if I would have never started, 5 years later, that would have been me today. But because I'm so far removed from that person, the way I convey my message today is completely different. And guess what? In a year, 5 years from now, it's going to be in a whole different level.
Oh, yeah.
So the key is just to start.
Yeah, man, absolutely. And like you said right now, like when you stop doing those selfie videos, even myself, even though I've done all the reps, you can tell when you've taken a break, and it's like it's hard to start again. That's why it's very important to set that goal and just get one out of the system and do it every single day for 30 days. And I guarantee you by week 2, it'll just come naturally. You'll just find stuff to put on live, you know. It doesn't have to be 100% business. If anything, it's going to be mainly family, sporting events with your kids, and then, yeah, you'll throw in business eventually. But when we take those breaks, and we've talked about that, where it's like if you take like a couple days off without shooting a video, like to go back live again, it's just like, shoot, like it's just like you get those anxieties all over again. So it's about the reps and consistency. Just keep doing it, keep doing it, keep doing it. And then, yeah, man, it just comes so natural now. Like, it's really not a big deal.
So what has this done? What has this done? We know how to prepare for this. What has this done for your business, or the overall? How do your clients see you?
Yeah.
You know, where are you at right now?
I just think that they now see me as much more of an authority. They don't see me as somebody that, you know, watch a YouTube video and said, hey, go live on Facebook to get more views. Like, they see me actually investing in my business. They see me popping up on the timeline with different, you know, it's either me and Jesse on a podcast, it's either myself on my own personal stuff that I do, and then eventually I'll throw in a selfie video. But I just feel like people perceive me more as an authority now because of the fact that it just looks so much professional. It's just a lot more appealing to the eye, and they don't realize, like, to me it's very simple, the setup, and they don't realize that though. Like, to them, you know, just to have a green screen, I mean, that green screen is $20 on Amazon. Like, they don't know how much that stuff is.
Yeah.
You know, they don't understand, you know, how simple it really can be. And I think that part right there alone is just, you can just feel it. Just feels different.
Yeah, there's less resistance.
Yeah.
When somebody knows you, when somebody sees you, they know that you have a podcast, they see you on Facebook on a consistent basis, on Instagram, and you're repurposing a lot of this information. So today we're going to go over a few things. I think we pretty much laid down the foundation of why it's so important. I think this is a new level. There's not any other brokerage that's teaching this. They will, once they see this, right?
Okay, sure.
They will. But we're constantly on the forefront of this because it is where the market is right now, right? So if you've been thinking about it, and all of you here have been thinking about it, and that's why you're here, it's about just moving forward with it. But that you are going to have to pay through sweat equity, which is the reps on the selfie video. So if you can't do that, hey, it was nice seeing you here to join us, and we needed more people in the audience. But I'm hoping everybody can just move forward. And it could be on any subject that you enjoy. But it is just truly being consistent with it. But the way Rio and the way we do it here is like we record live. Even on our Do the Work podcast, we're just live. If we make mistakes, oh well, that's part of my human nature. Sometimes I stutter, sometimes I don't make sense, sometimes I get too passionate, sometimes I'm not as passionate, and that's just part of my persona, right? So we go live because it forces me to think off the cuff. There is no second take, there is no, I made a mistake. It's me who I am, it's us who we are in its realest and rawest form. So we go live on Facebook, and then we repurpose that information by taking that same audio and we put it into the podcast. And then we take that video, and then we use segments to promote also on Facebook, so they don't have to watch the 30-minute show, whatever. We use segments of that, either a 3-minute video, a 30-second video, but we constantly repurpose this information. And that is the key to this. You take one piece of content and you repurpose it through the other channels. You want to add to that?
Yeah, that's huge, man. So after we had that class, I saw when people dabbled in that idea of creating their podcast.
Yeah.
And think about how hard it is to create content. Think about how hard it is to come up with ideas and put it out there. Podcast, by definition, is audio. Podcast is meant to be listened to, not watched. But the fact that, and this is 100% something that, you did, is the fact that you've incorporated the video at a high quality level just gives you that content that you can spread it in so many different ways than just audio. Now, like you said, all those different mediums that you sent out, and you've even given me the recent addition to it is emailing out your podcast, So I think that's huge because, like, your content, it's good, and it takes so much effort to put something out there. And why not just blast that throughout the board? So it's not just dabbling. Like anybody can create a podcast with some headphones and plug it into your computer. But when people see that, are they really going to perceive you as an authority? No, it's a matter of just kind of giving that perception, like, hey, no, I'm taking the time and the money and the effort to do this. So I think that's huge.
Yeah, and that's a very important point. I mean, you can literally just buy a mic and record right into your laptop. That's in its simplest form. What we've done is we've taken it to a whole new different level. Not a lot of people are doing it this way, but once I see people like, Gary Vee, and these are the guys that I look up to that are spending tens of thousands. They have a lot of people there, but they're on the forefront. So why do I want to be 10 steps behind? I want to do what they're doing. Obviously not at the grand scale, but I want to be able to see what they're doing, where they can record on video and at the same time use that content and put it as a podcast. I personally, guys, when we started this, I personally spent well over $10,000 through consultants of the same information that we're giving to you free. Now, why did I pay that? Because it forced me to actually do it. I put my money where my mouth is. And everything that I do it because anytime we're giving free information, we're like, it's not a big deal. So I want you to really take this into consideration. If you're here, just run with it. For me, I needed someone just to kind of take that where I just didn't understand how it worked and make it work immediately, to teach me, to show me, and now I can, and I did the same thing with him, and now he's teaching you guys. So please take this on. Go ahead.
Just a question. So maybe all of you know the answer to this. Are you saying that you can basically do from your Facebook Live videos, you can take that and put it into your podcast?
Yes.
You extract the video and the audio. So whenever you're done recording, the video is saved on your computer in a high quality format. So you're not having to use the bad quality video from Facebook. So you get the high quality video, put that on YouTube, and you extract the audio and you put it on iTunes. So now you have 3 different platforms off of one episode.
So we're gonna give you all the equipment and everything that you'll need,
Yes.
and how to even set it up, So we're gonna give you the step-by-step. Guys, this is valuable information. There's companies out there that charge for this stuff. So where should we go next, Rio? What step do you want to take now?
Well, so I'm going to give you guys kind of a shopping list of items, and I'll show you guys. I'm going to do a quick setup, but just know you guys are going to have issues that come up. Even AZ to this day. We do a podcast and we had issues coming up. There's always going to be issues.
There's going to be technical.
Yeah, that's always, and YouTube's going to be your best friend to learn how to use everything. So the software, there's different facets of it. So there's a hardware piece, which is the stuff that you can physically see. Then there's the software stuff, so that's the programs that you use to run the podcast and the green screen. And then there's also the hosting platform. So the hosting platform is where you put your actual podcast to be put on iTunes. That was a big thing that was a big disconnect.
So we could to kind of reiterate what he's saying is when you record an audio, there's got to be a hosting system, okay, that pushes that information out. And there's different types of podcasts. There's Apple Podcasts. There's Spotify. There's what other ones are there?
There's Google Play,
Google Podcasts, Stitcher. There's a bunch of them. So I started out with just Apple. Because that's what I use. But you can use Stitcher, the Android apps. I don't know what apps they are, but this platform will push them out to every single one of them. Okay, so it's awesome because all you do is record the audio, you put it on this platform. What is it called? Libsyn. Okay, Libsyn is the platform that's going to host all your audio files. So once you record it, you upload it to Libsyn, and Libsyn will shoot it out to all the designations that you've created.
Yeah, so that'll put it on iTunes, that'll put it on Google Play. Pricing is pretty affordable. I think that we pay $20 a month for the space that we use. So it's nothing crazy. And as far as, this was a big one for me, and I would highly recommend you guys use this program for the recording and for the green screen and all that. I'm using OBS, just OBS. It's a free software, which is huge. There's different companies out there that make softwares, like Wirecast is probably the one that professionals use. AZ uses that one, but it carries a hefty price tag. OBS is 100% free, and everything you guys see on my Facebook page, I use OBS.
OBS is a great software. Yeah. It's been around for years, and it is free. what OBS does. What does OBS do?
So OBS basically it's a live streaming service, or live streaming software. So it takes your video, your audio, it puts it in your computer, and then from your computer it spits it to your Facebook page. So it's your brain. So anytime I'm switching scenes, anytime that I'm putting a picture up, or anytime that I have cameras that are switching, it's all controlled all on OBS.
So let's say you have, okay, I know it's a little getting technical, and trust me, when I first learned about this, I'm like, what the hell did I just get into, right? But I think after watching this and after he does the demonstration, this is all gonna come together. So we talked about lip sync. What is lip sync again? The hosting. That's all it is. Okay, awesome. So we took it another level like we just talked about, right? When we record, we wanted to go straight into Facebook. Now, when you get a camera like this, you cannot go, well, I guess you could, right? But you need a connection to go from the camera over to Facebook. And you need a platform to host that. So OBS is that platform. Now, there's converters to take the image that's going here to the platform. And that's what we're gonna talk about, and that's the hardware side. But on the software side, OBS just essentially takes what's on the camera and what's on the mic and puts it in high quality into Facebook, YouTube, etc.
Yeah.
You can also use your computer, right?
You can also use
From
your computer.
I mean, I know that's probably at a lower level, and I know you guys are
Yeah, like
bounds
you can
past
go.
that, but
Yeah, we're
you start
talking-
out, right?
Yeah, absolutely. That's
Yeah.
exactly what it is. So it's like using your
Your
camera
webcam.
here, but
Yeah.
Okay.
Again, it's creating this content, so you want good, vibrant, quality, a picture and sound. You've also seen that where, you got a great background on YouTube, and then the sound sounds like
Crap.
it sounds like crap, right? And it's almost like, oh, I need to change this. The sound's too poor. Sound has to be clear for people to really engage, and if you can get the picture to support that, even better. Okay.
Yeah, so just to wrap up on OBS, so don't try to go other ways. We tried that. We learned a different program, and it was just it just didn't have any room to grow for multiple cameras. So just use OBS. Trust me, it will work for whatever you guys need, and it's 100% free. It looks intimidating because it's very basic. There's not a bunch of graphics to it, but just watch a bunch of YouTube videos, and that is the best software to use for the live streaming portion of it. And then as far as, I guess that would be a transition into like the hardware and stuff.
The hardware. Okay, so now we have the softwares, the two softwares, Libsyn, which is a paid monthly service, and then OBS, which is a free streaming, like a streaming service type of thing. Now let's get into the software. What are some of the things that they're gonna need?
So I like this right here. This is a very trademark podcasting mic. This is like the equivalent of like the Nike Swoosh for shoes. Any good podcaster, Joe Rogan, Mike Tyson, he's funny. He's really good. They all use this mic. This is the Shure SHURE SMB 70.
Yeah.
Damn, no notes.
SHURE SMB 70. It's not
SMB 70.
Oh no, SM7B.
Okay.
SM7B. So this
Everybody
is.
get that?
Yep.
Okay, there it is. So it's a Shure SM7B.
So I would say that this is probably going to be one of your higher, more pricier. It was $400 for this mic. You can get cheap $100 mics, but you're going to look like you're singing on camera. This says podcast. This says broadcast. This says authority to me. And this is the one that AZ recommended, and we didn't want to deviate from his recommendations, and we've been happy with it. Like I said, you could probably get similar quality. I mean, spending, I don't know, $200. But once again, this is just kind of, it has this very iconic look and feel to it that if you look on YouTube, type in podcasters, a lot of them use this exact mic. It's known for podcasting.
Which it doesn't, I don't want to, again, scare you from, saying, well, it's $500. Again, it's an investment, but it's an investment in your business. It's a business expense, right? But just get anything if that's wouldn't stop you if you want to start. But you will reinvest again, and that's the mistake I always make. I always go the cheaper route, and then I'm like, damn it, why did I buy that? And then I end up buying the product I should have bought, and I just threw away the additional $200. So it is $399. Yeah.
I mean, you can get them used sometimes on OfferUp. Some people that what is it?
Yeah.
True story. I bought mine off of OfferUp. Jesse bought his brand new. So I mean, I was able to get a good deal on it. I think this is more like a brand thing, but it does have great quality. Like I said, I'm sure you can get other mics that have similar quality, but to me, it's very iconic for podcasting, and worth it.
Okay, so once you get the mic, go ahead.
Hey, in regards to that mic, I'm more on a budget. I know Rode came out with their new pod mic, $100. The
There you go.
reviews, I mean, have been pretty good from what I've been seeing.
I'm sure
Just
it,
on a
I'm sure
budget,
it
though.
sounds just as good,
Yeah.
honestly. But I think to me, once again, it just kind of comes down to the brand. Like it just looks iconic. It's
Just
that
get started.
common-
Get it. If it's good reviews, just go with it.
But yeah, don't let
Don't
that
let that
be-
stop you.
David's been talking about that mic for about a week. So.
Oh yeah, yeah. Pull the
Just
trigger.
buy
on
it,
it.
David.
Another-
$99.
Did you buy
Rode.
it? Did you buy it?
I'm going to buy
It's a
two.
write-off.
So I'd like you to speak.
One a week has been talking.
Order it
about
now.
So another
Send me the confirmation.
I will.
another pricier, but very worth it. This one I would say save up and buy this one because how flexible it is. So this is a full-on mixer. So like this is usually like 5 times as big. These are usually like big old things that sit on
I
top
bought
of
one,
this.
a big one,
Yeah,
and I
then-
don't use it.
And it really is that powerful. This is called the Zoom H6. This is the same price as a mic. It's
So tell us what a
$399.
Zoom H6 does.
So this takes high quality mics. Like you can literally hook up guitars to this. You can hook up pianos. Like this is what musicians use too. So it takes all your audio, mics, multiple mics, and then it puts it into your
So,
computer.
so after you buy the mic, you're gonna have this cable. Does this come separate?
Yeah, it does.
Okay, so you're gonna have to get a
20
connector,
bucks.
a connector like this, and it's the.
I have a set for it.
Okay. Well, it's a connector like this that'll connect to the H6. What is it?
XLR cable.
XLR cable. Okay, thank you for that.
Thank you.
So you'll depending on how many mics you have up to 4 ports on this thing. Okay. So we have how many mics? 5?
Well, you
5 mics?
can even add more. That's
5. We have 5 mics. What's that?
You can even add more. That's how versatile it is. You can buy a separate one of these, and it'll add 2 more mics.
Oh wow, I didn't even know that. But we've never used more than 4. But this is how much is this thing here?
$399.
Okay, $399 for this as well. And again, it's just taking
for this.
for that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's like 20.
This
bucks.
is 20.
Yeah.
Okay, so the Zoom H6 will take the quality of the sound and put it into your computer or on a card. So you can actually record to a card if you just want to take the audio and load that into the software. But this also takes it when you're on live. That's why our quality of sound sounds so good, because this actually records it into
Either Audition or
Yeah.
Wirecast or whatever
So
program.
yeah, so
To
this,
OBS.
this serves as the hub for all your audio equipment, and then this is also where your headphones hook up. So this is where your headphones branch out, and everybody has the headphones on. Funny story. So Jesse and I, we went to Vegas, and then we wanted to do a podcast on the road, and that's why I love this thing. We were on the rooftop of a parking garage until security came and took us away. This hanging off of the rooftop, and then it just didn't look good. But we did end up doing one anyway in the hotel. But the fact that this was portable, like we hooked up this to our phone, and we used our phone to record, but we had high quality, top grade audio because of this unit and the mics. We had the mics with us, so it's portable. For you, Michelle, you planning on doing take this on a road trip, and then pull over and do quick recording sesh. Like it's very versatile and worth the money.
and if you don't have the mics, it actually comes with a
Yeah.
microphone head
So
as well.
Don't let that stop you. This is what Maddie uses. So like if you guys are like if you're planning on making the investment, buy this before you buy the mic, because this mic is actually really good quality. Maddie uses this, so we only have 2 mics, and then she uses this. When she records, she has it on a stand, and it works really good.
So do you guys get that?
Yeah, I can vouch
So
for that, 'cause I just got it.
And that's the
it sounds really
Zoom
good.
H6.
Zoom H6. So yeah, if you don't want to spend the $400 on the mic, and you just want to get invest in the H6, and it comes with already that mic, and it's actually pretty good quality.
it comes with 2. So it comes with this one that's more for like this, like talking directly to it, and then it has a second mic that's more like open, that kind
Like
of
this
just.
one? No, that's the same one.
And it has other things too, like you can buy different types of mics that click into it. So this is a great investment. Don't deviate from this. Like, buy this first before the mic, and then add to that.
You said that one was $399?
This one's $399. Yeah, the Zoom H6.
And there's also other Zooms out there. There's like the H4, H2, H1. Those work, but they don't have the same kind of modularity as that does, where you can actually remove the mics and put other things on there.
And you lose some of the mic inputs. So this one has 4 just off the bat plus this one. So you can have 5 people at once. That's crazy.
What kind of questions do we have? I know it's a lot of technicalities.
What do you mean you can have 5 people?
You can have 5 different mics hooked up,
Oh,
including
okay.
this one, and then 5 different.
But if you're in close proximity, like it's just me and you right here, we can put this right here,
It'll still sound.
and you can still catch that here. But there is a difference. Like you'll start paying attention to people that are on Facebook. You'll see like, oh wow, that mic quality is really good. I didn't know until I started like really paying attention, and you can tell when there's something just out in the open. This is actually what Gary Vee walked in when I went to go see him
No
in
way.
New York. He walks in, right,
Mhm.
and he just puts this on the table just like this, and just starts recording. Somebody was on a camera, and they just take the audio and then they attach it to the to whatever they record on the camera. Because on the camera, this camera, regardless of how much it cost me, the quality is nowhere near as good as the H6. Okay, so you don't want to sound like you're in an empty room. So this will work.
So when you're hooking that up to your cell phone, how are you doing that? Are you just, is there software on the cell phone, or
It's
what
just-
do you have to do?
Literally, it's just like plugging in like a headphone. Like it reads it as a headphone.
So you just use a cord to plug into it?
Yeah, so it has a line out right here. So this is
Uh-huh.
like a headphone jack, and then if you have the newer iPhones, you just have to have the dongle that converts it from
Right.
the lightning bolt to the headphone jack,
Yeah.
and then it'll connect to your phone, and you'll have high quality, you know. And honestly, like if you put good lighting,
Yeah.
I mean, iPhones have amazing video quality. Like you can use just have great lighting. You're just not gonna have, you can still even do green screen, honestly. Like you can use your phone, but I mean, just, I would say short term. Long term is to invest in a DSLR or something.
Right, but that's, like, if you're doing the green screen, that's if you're gonna be in a stationary
Mhm.
location. But if you're out on site somewhere, doing anything like that,
Like if,
that would be the
like for your
best.
testimonial videos, like that's the thing, like we use this for so much stuff. Like for your testimonial videos with your clients, plug your phone in and then put that. And it's cool.
So it sounds like that's kind of like the like if you're gonna buy one thing, it should be that one,
Yeah.
and then it'll allow you to grow,
Mhm.
to make the investment of a $400 mic,
Yeah.
$5 or $1,000 camera.
Start here and then camera and then additional links. Because to start, it's just gonna be you and that's it.
And we got a green screen here. Again, it doesn't have to be that. This can be your podcast background. And that's what, I don't know if you guys have seen Jermaine, but he just has it in his office. He's got a bunch of books, a bunch of stuff, and that's his background. And a lot of podcasts that you see is just real stuff, not like green screens. We just like it
Like to
because
be
we're so good,
interactive, yeah.
but
yeah.
it's not required. Go ahead.
So just one more question about the Zoom H6, is that, does it come the way you see it, or are those attachments that you have to add on?
No, there is additional attachments that you could purchase. This one comes with it, and there's one other one that comes with it. They have a shotgun mic that you could put that's
Oh,
like
okay.
a more direct, So there's a couple different stuff, but this does come with it, and it's
Okay.
good quality. Like I said, Maddie uses it.
Cool, thank
Yeah, but for sure. What's up, man?
Does a microphone like this help eliminate echo?
These guys?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, whenever
It's more the stock up top. It'll help like dumb down the echo in the background, because essentially the lower the volume of the audio, the less it's gonna breach the wind sock that's on there. So,
Yeah, it's worth it, guys. I definitely would recommend to purchase that. The versatility, the portability to it, it's worth it. Anybody else? Any questions on the H6, on what it does, on the purpose of it?
Everybody understand what it does? It just takes what you're recording here, and you can save it directly to a card or through this into your computer.
To your computer, yeah. So yeah, like actually Jesse brought up a great point. This would probably be the first purchase for a podcast because it has everything you need and you can literally use your phone. But I mean, most people have, cameras. Like we're using an older, and I'll get to the camera right now. The next one was gonna be just headphones. Like you can use any headphones. Once again, these are very, $100, right?
Yeah, something like that.
So these are the same brand as the mic. You can use any headphones really.
Yeah, Beats or whatever, you can use those. It's just all that is hearing yourself as you're speaking, and it does something to you when you can hear your own voice.
Yeah.
It seems like you're more in tune. Now I understand why they all like.
Very white.
Yeah.
When you're out on site, you don't use the headphones though, do you?
It would probably be just like the buds,
Okay.
so that way, like the big old ones, yeah. So you can use any headphones, that's not too important. It looks good on camera though. Once again, like having the big ones, like whenever Jesse and I record, we have these on, and it just looks good on camera too. But they are great quality headphones, don't get me wrong, $100 isn't a bad price, like Beats are $200-300.
Yeah.
So these are great headphones, studio quality, and then once again, it just kind of ties into that whole presence of the podcast.
What brand were the headsets?
Sure. These are the same brand, SHURE, and they're the SRH 440s.
I would say though, if you want to plug a headphone into it before you start, because you want to hear if you're clipping, meaning that you're too loud. Because if you clip, you can't. It's not
bring it back.
Yeah, you can't bring it back. So I just plug in a headphone, test it, and then you don't need a headphone.
So again, yeah, that's a good point. So you don't need the headphones, again. We've done a lot of podcasts without the headphones. So you don't need to invest in that if you don't want, but you at least have to test it, like Brendan was saying. So it's not, so it's, it's recording directly to there. And all you do is you just plug it in, hear yourself, and you're good to go.
It's like right now, we're technically doing a podcast,
Yeah.
and we don't need the headphones. It's just, it does sound cool though when you have them. It's pretty official.
Right? Michelle, you did that, it sounds totally different, and it's like, okay, I feel good.
This is a very small, cheap, useful investment. It's like $10. It's a 5-way splitter for audio. So one of the drawbacks to this is it only has one-way input for your headphones. So this allows you to hook up multiple headphones at once. So that way, if you have more people on your podcast, you guys can all be listening on your headphones. It's just, look up on Amazon, Belkin, BELKIN, 5-way headphone splitter. Yeah. So this is a very cheap, small investment, but something that you probably need down the road, and it's better to have it before you need it. This year, all right, so now we're getting into video. So we got audio out of the way.
So the video is like a plus here, okay?
Yeah.
Recording it live is a plus, but that's all you need right there
Yeah.
for your podcast.
Yeah.
Now we're doing the cream of the crop type of thing, right?
This is taking it to another level, right? So absolutely, you're right. Like that's all you need is the H6 and a couple of headphones. So there's a lot of different ways, and you guys are gonna have to research which is gonna be the best way to work for your camera. There's a lot of different ways. So to take a camera like these that you guys are seeing that are high quality cameras, and to have them function like a webcam, because that's essentially what they're doing when you're putting them and streaming live with them. It's very different than when you push record, and that was a very hard concept for me to understand. I couldn't understand like how does it work. So when you have a camera, right, DSLR, you take pictures, you take video, you take that SD card and you pop it into your computer. The USB connection or whatever connection that traditionally hooks that up to your computer isn't meant to transfer a live video feed from your camera to your computer. It's meant to transfer data. It's meant to transfer image files and video files. So that was like kind of a weird concept for me. I didn't understand, and then that's where there was a lot of trial and error to find what would work best. And it's definitely gonna be based on the camera itself. Some cameras don't work as great as others, but there's always a solution. Like we found a solution that works. This is called a Black Magic mini recorder. This is $150, $200. This is for one camera. So they have some that have multiple inputs from multiple cameras. So something to consider. Once you guys are ready to make that investment. If you're planning on having multiple cameras like AZ has, invest in the future and have something that has multiple inputs. But if you guys are like, no, I'm just starting off, just get the one, and then.
So again, just to reiterate what he's saying, these cameras are not capable of taking the image that is capturing and delivering it straight into Facebook. It just can't, okay? So the way you can do it live, it needs a converter. And that's what converts the actual video from the camera in there, puts it into a type of source that Facebook can now read. Okay, so that's all it is. So it's taking the image from there, running it through there so you can see it live on Facebook. So we have a different brand, but that's a good one to start with. It's on the least expensive side, but it works great, okay? And again, it's called a Blackmagic Mini Recorder.
So do some research on that. Sometimes, once again, like I said, it won't work with your camera for whatever reason. Like we had issues with ours where it wasn't really displaying good quality, so we did a workaround. But the problem is, eventually we want to have multiple cameras, and eventually we are going to invest in high quality cameras. But just to start, like one is enough. Now, there's another way to do it, and I'm not going to go too far into detail with this one.
Let's just go with let's just go with this.
Yeah.
I don't want to confuse you. So I want to give you another brand that has worked wonders for me. So that's the Blackmagic, but there's another one called Magwell. And it's, what is the name on that one? Magwell, and I'll give you the model number. And just for me, sometimes it was kind of, sometimes it worked with my cameras, the Blackmagic, and sometimes it didn't. And I got frustrated with that. And the Magwell, it always just works for me. And it's called, it's actually the Magewell, Magewell. And it is called the Magewell, M-A-G-E, well, and it's called the HDMI Gen 2. HDMI Gen 2. And it looks like this. It's just a little gray one that does the same thing as the Blackmagic. Okay. This one works with, has worked well with my cameras. I still have some of those that I don't use anymore. This one seems to work, but for his, it works all the time.
What was
So,
that again?
Magewell, M-A-G-E-W-E-L-L, HDMI Gen 2.
Do you guys understand why you guys need this? Does this make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that was kind of a weird one for me to understand. Like, I didn't get why the computer cable that plugged my camera just wasn't making it work. And it's not meant for that.
All it's doing is really tricking your computer to think that it's a webcam.
Yeah, exactly.
That's all it's doing. Okay. So now you have the high quality video to run along with your high quality audio.
Make that your last investment, though. Make the video and all that portion of it, the last part, the audio is, I think, key. But still record your sessions with high quality, you know. Oh, and the lighting, that was the last one. Lighting is very important and very affordable. Those lights that you guys see there, not only do they look cool when people come into our studio, they're very affordable. Those are $100 for both. They come with the stands, they're portable, you can put them together, and they go into the shape of like a baseball bat. You can take them with you guys. You could double, like if you guys are taking pictures of something else, like they work for a lot of different stuff. So definitely get some cool lighting. Even if you're gonna be recording with your phone, make sure you're well lit. I hate bad lighting. It's such a small investment to make. So if you're gonna use your phone to record while you're podcasting, do it, but just have good lighting, have good quality. Or go outside and record. That's good lighting outside always. And then I would say then cameras would be the last item. Once again, cameras can get up there, especially when you start adding lenses and stuff. First, check to see any old cameras that you guys have. That's a Canon T6i, which is an older camera. It's been out for like 6 years. If you guys have any of those around, try them out, pop them in, see how they work. AZ has the the Sony A7s.
Yeah,
A7S. These are, you know, any YouTube star that you see is using these. So I mean, they're you know, $2,000 for each camera. So just don't let that, you know, you can get one of those for like $600-700, $500 on OfferUp or Facebook. Yeah, but what would you say? Like, there's just, once you start getting towards the video side of it, it just gets kind of.
This is again taking it to another level. But I wanted to show you the entire paradigm of what it consists of. And right now, I know what you're feeling like. Like, holy shit! Like, I just wanted to start a podcast, right? And you can actually start a podcast by just recording to your iPhone. So there's different options. You can go like this and record and load it, or you can go this route. But you want some high quality sound. So this video side is just like, again, it's just taking it to a whole new different level that it took me a long time to understand. But if you don't at least start with this, this will always be foreign. So at least out of this class, what I want you to take out of is, I'm gonna buy the Zoom H6 and at least be able to record my content and upload it into Libsyn in a high quality format, okay? And everything from now moving forward, like I said, with the cameras and the Magwell or the Blackmagic, the Magwell, is just to add video to your podcast. But again, 30 days from now, you guys can completely comprehend this because you've done the reps with your live videos, you've started your you know, the H6 stuff, and this will come natural. So this will all come together for you, because I'm seeing some people like, what are you talking about? And I get it, we've all been there. What kind of questions do you have for me right now? Does that at least make sense of the connection between everything? All right, so I'm gonna test you. All right, so once you recorded audio, what software are you gonna use? Libsyn to, what does Libsyn do?
Autofile, it's after.
Hosting.
Hosting, and that feeds it into what? No.
Into all of the
Into all of
broadcasting.
Oh, like your
iTunes,
Facebook,
Yeah.
YouTube,
Google
all that.
Play.
No, it does to the like Apple Podcast, Stitcher, any Android podcast. That's what shoots out the information to
It's iTunes.
to iTunes and all that other stuff. Okay.
It's not like
YouTube as
YouTube.
well, or-
Not YouTube, no, because that's video.
Okay.
We're talking about audio.
Okay.
So audio is Stitcher, Google Play,
Spotify,
Spotify, iTunes, all that. Okay.
Yeah, it's not like with audio and podcasts, it's not like YouTube where you upload it and YouTube hosts the stuff for you. You have to have a separate service host the stuff for you, and that separate service sends the files to iTunes. So
Nice. And that's the
Libsyn
Libsyn.
is
Libsyn.
what does that.
Okay.
Yeah,
Libsyn.
does that.
What does Libsyn cost? I'm sorry.
About 20 bucks.
$20 a month. I mean, there's different packages, but that's good enough. Then,
Okay. So
yeah.
to get video along with that, what software do you need on the computer side, not hardware? What software do you need to load the live video that you're streaming on one of these cameras into Facebook?
OBS.
OBS, good. Now, what do you need to take the image file from the camera to Facebook? What hardware? So we have the software side. What is the hardware you're gonna need?
The mini recorder.
That thing.
Blackmagic.
Yes,
Yeah.
Blackmagic or the Magwell thing, okay?
The
little box.
The little box.
That thingy. That
Um,
thing right there.
Edgar is one of the recent individuals that's been really, leaning in, and he asked me for recommendations, and he's purchased everything that I've recommended so far. How hard or easy was it for you, man?
It's like you said, like how you guys are feeling is pretty daunting in the beginning. Because it's a lot of stuff that you gotta learn. You literally have to learn a new skill just to like figure out how OBS works. But I mean, I just literally had Rio upload his settings onto my laptop, and I copied the settings from my laptop to my Mac. So like just by like such just experimenting, trial and error, and you'll figure it out. I mean, if you're like really committed into figuring out how OBS works, you'll find ways to figure this system out.
You don't have to be technically savvy, you just have to be committed to learning.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, when it took me like a day to figure out the whole profile thing, like how to like copy profiles and make my own profiles. And then, I mean, again, YouTube is your best friend, and if you have any other questions that you can't find on YouTube, you can always reach out to me.
We're gonna show you how we have it set up on OBS, okay? So,
Yeah, we'll show you guys.
we'll show you that. We're also gonna show you how to connect all this stuff, so it makes more and more sense. But I'm glad you guys understand, like, again, for me, I didn't understand why I couldn't just plug my camera into my computer and have it work.
Yeah.
So that's why we need the Blackmagic or the Magwell. And I couldn't understand why I couldn't take that video and stream live. Well, that's where OBS comes in. Okay, so it all starts kind of interconnecting. So you have different systems, but again, this is part of marketing. You're the marketer of your business. You don't have, all these members on your staff. So you have to learn it. You have to learn it, okay, to get this started. Okay, everybody understand the hardware and everything that we need just to get set up.
What's up, man?
Is OBS a system or the software that you use to do like a live feed and then place your monitor on the screen as well?
Yeah, I can do like screen share and share people. Like I do that a lot.
Okay.
Like where I'll show people stuff on the website, and I'll just have it like sitting behind me. In the
Okay.
screen. Yeah.
So, do you guys understand this question? Like, have you ever seen, and we're going to show you,
Yeah, I'll show you guys.
like, even when I'm doing coaching calls or Mindset Monday and I show you something off a screen, that's what manages all that. Like, if I show you a PDF file, or I show you a picture, or, just anything that I have access to, that's what this program does.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's like AZ said, that's on the more technical side. That's like video stuff. But for sure, like if you guys wanted to walk away today and record your first podcast, you guys can buy this at Guitar Center for $3.99. If you guys don't want to, it's. I tried shopping around. It's the same price on Amazon. You're not gonna pay. Just go to Guitar Center. It's $400. You can start your podcast with this, your phone, and set your phone up on a stand, get some good lighting, and then you can do your first podcast today. Like that's all it takes. All this is extra. This has been a workup process. It took us a long time to kind of just slowly work our way to this, but this is all you really need in your phone.
So you know how to start a podcast, right, with what you need right now. Okay, so now we're going to show you, what are we going to go into? You want to show
Yeah,
you?
it's just basically.
All right. Who's still with me?
So the mic stand is $100, but it's worth it. We tried buying a cheap one, and it, like the fact that it balances out without falling Like, it's pretty cool. It's impressive.
Details matter.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So there's different stands you can buy, like, this is for like tabletop, but we use that in the studio right there as well.
So, and then once again, like, one point that I want to drive is, this all started as a podcast between Jesse and I, but now it's just like, every week I have my own episode of The Real Deal. I have a separate episode of Feedback Friday where I talk about reviews.
And you don't load those into the podcast, right?
No. Those
So
are just
now,
YouTube.
now he's using this because he has a setup. He's using it to record high quality videos straight into Facebook, without having to load into like the podcast. So if you watch any of his stuff, he does it every, almost like 2 or 3 times a week, right?
Yeah, at least 3 times a week for sure, yeah. Sometimes once.
So
But like having this stuff, like, you're like, shit, you spent the money, you might as well get your money's worth. Alright, so right now, what I'm doing is I'm just setting up.
I can set this all, my team can set this up for you for $5,000 if you'd like.
That's true, man. We try to
I
get
paid
somebody out
10,
there.
that's half the price.
Yeah, that's expensive.
Just let me know.
Is it really?
They take EBT?
Is it really?
Yeah, I mean, it all depends on the consultants you use, but we use,
Yeah, the equipment is like.
yeah, and that doesn't include equipment.
Alright, so I'm gonna hook up the camera now and then pray that it works, because every time I pray that everything works. It's always,
Do you have your Blackmagic on?
No, so that's kind of the workaround that we have, because we have a Canon. But I don't want to give, yeah, like, don't go, if you already have a Canon, I can show you a way to do it without the Blackmagic, but don't go out of your way and buy a Canon for that purpose, because now we're having to upgrade.
What kind of camera would you suggest?
That's the thing, man, that's like kind of the steps that we're in.
Okay.
We're probably gonna have to get what you have just to make sure it works, you know? Because right now, so the Canon has kind of a workaround where you don't have to buy the Blackmagic, it saves like $150. So we use that workaround right now, not by choice, we had to. We tried using the Blackmagic, and then it was just the quality.
Did the
wasn't
Magwell
good.
work for you?
No, remember that was the day that
Oh,
we're
it
like
was the
trying
Canon.
everything and nothing would work. So if you currently have a Canon camera, I'll give you kind of a workaround to you know, a lot of people have these Canons and these are so common.
Does anybody have a DSLR right now? DSLR is just these higher quality cameras, no one? Yeah. Phone, do it with your phone. Do it with your phone.
Yeah, Mike, that's all you need.
What do you use? Your phone?
No, these, T7.
279? Did you use the Magwell or did you use the
No,
workaround?
it's the workaround.
Yeah, he had the same issue that I was having.
But I mean, now I'm starting to see like the quality of it. It's like a little,
Hey.
it's not as crisp as I would like it for
Hey.
it to be. I don't know if it's like because I'm downloading it first and then uploading it again to Facebook. I don't know. It's
Man, the
I
game
like that
has
background.
changed.
Yeah, so
We
where
have
do you find
way
all the
different-
backgrounds and stuff, Rio?
So I'll get into that in a second, but I wanted to show you guys something real quick on our. So this was our very first podcast Jesse and I did, and I want to show you guys. This was September 27, 2018. Just to show you guys how we started off.
Where's the sound?
Where's my sound? Damn it. Everything was
Lost.
right earlier.
Yeah, it's okay.
Oh well.
Just tell me when to go.
Well, no, this is just YouTube. Like I'm just trying to.
Yeah, but you have to choose.
That was September.
No, I'm just trying to.
That was September?
That was September.
All right.
September.
Yeah,
Well,
well,
you know,
Oh,
you guys get the.
But you have the H6 point in. It might be trying to put it up to the H6, which is why you have to choose the speakers on your computer for it to work. So.
Language, what are you saying?
It's a foreign language, it is.
I understood H6. I didn't understand that.
That's the Zoom.
Yep, that's the Zoom.
I couldn't even spell Lipson until like.
that's why I kinda hold it back.
Anyways, that was our first podcast, and then let me just kind of show you.
Oh, there we go.
There we go.
Intros are a waste of time. Don't make intros. We got rid of ours. This was the first episode. I'll let you guys watch it though because it's pretty cool.
By the way, if you haven't, go ahead and
Subscribe.
rate, review, subscribe, comment.
Yeah, intros.
Yeah, I spent too much time on that intro. I am gonna be ass off. I just want to show you guys like how it looked before.
Jesse looks pretty happy.
So what camera was it? The same camera?
Yeah, same camera, but we just added OBS. Honestly, that's the only difference really was, and the reps too. Went from episode 1 to episode 39.
Okay, well show them your actual episode.
Hey, how's it going, guys? All right, so I hope you guys enjoyed that intro. That was actually a result of this morning. We were
nervous
on that up until this point, and you think you're ready, but you're really not.
And then this is now, like the difference. Look how short the intro is now. Like huge, drastic change.
Let's see.
Hey, how's it going, guys? Thank you for joining us on this week's episode of Those Bros in a Pod. What episode is it, Jesse?
I really like how Rio trusts me to keep track of these
He's
numbers,
really good
man.
at it.
A lot of pressure on me, actually. Welcome to episode number 37.
Yeah,
137.
That number is creepy.
So they've already tripled the amount of what
No,
most
we're
people
not
do.
sitting in on-
But I mean, just adding that green screen to it, and yeah, I mean, you can just tell our confidence is so much better. We're joking around. We're not trying to be all proper. You just can kind of see, you know.
Are those your new shirts?
Yeah, those are the new white ones that we got.
I'm liking it.
All right, so let me show you guys a quick demo. So when you go live, so this is OBS right here. I'm already on the screen. I can turn the screen off.
Move it over to the middle a little bit. Okay, so this is the OBS platform, right?
Yeah, so this is the system that I was saying, guys, is 100% free. It looks intimidating because it's black and white, but it's pretty useful. So as far as the background, the question that you're asking, DB, so I mean, I could shut that background off, or I can add a background. I can add a separate background real easy. I can just do image, and then one common one that I've been doing is houses. Like whenever I want to.
So he'll actually take images of the houses he sold, and he'll save it on his computer, and then he'll load it as his background. So he's talking about a particular client. How cool would that be, right?
That's awesome.
So he'll do that and then just talk about the experience of his client. So he's going to another level. This all started from a podcast, but now he's using it as a marketing tool to go directly into Facebook.
Yeah. So you guys can kind of see how the background changes. When I started doing that, like the green screen, I thought that was super cool. Like that was, I don't know, it's $20, and then the software is free. And just to add that into our setup was really nice. You can even do like slideshows in the background.
So how do you add a background? You just go, there's under sources.
Yeah, so you go to the little plus sign here, and then you're gonna pick, and I'll show you guys how to add like a window capture, but this is where you add anything, video, intros, all that. So you just go to add, and let's do image slideshow. And then I'm gonna go ahead and select the images that I want to put into my slideshow now. So then now it just gives it this very cool, just different kind of setup where, and then, so this thing right here that's highlighted, this is a sequence of how it's gonna show layered on your screen. So obviously the slideshow is the very first layer, everything's gonna be hidden behind it. So we wanna move that all the way to the back. So that way now it's kind of
In the background.
Yeah.
So what he did is like, so when you pick a source, it'll put whatever you picked on top. So if you want to put it in the background, you just drag it down behind the camera. So it's just the layers, right?
Yeah, once you get the hang of that, it gets pretty easy. And the cool
It's
thing
just
is
go on
like,
the very basic level, so we're
Yeah.
not losing everybody.
I
So-
was like, do people feel like when they're watching those images going, is that better feedback for you guys, or is it more complicated for people to like focus on you while they are also looking at pictures changing?
I've never had a complaint about it. Honestly, I think that most people,
But still, image is best if you have too much going on. But if it's something like his is just every few seconds is doing, that's not a big deal.
Yeah, I mean, you can kind of, I'm talking and then, because sometimes like when you're recording, especially when you're on your own and you don't have anybody else on there, if you're just talking in front of a camera, it's nice to have something kind of in the background.
Okay.
But this is a cool interactive one that you're asking about. So once you have everything set up, then you can have separate scenes, right? So it's like you kind of have two different scenes of what you're gonna do. One is just me with this background and my logo, And then now if I want to transition to something where I'm talking about like something that I want to reference, I switch scenes and everything changes. So now, you know, I have a web page that I can access, and now, like if I wanted to show something, you know, I don't know, I don't want to show, you know, I don't want to show my history here, but I don't know what's gonna pop up. But yeah, like if I want to talk about a Facebook page, you know, yeah, or a post or something, you know, like you can go through and show them, and this is very.
This is what it's showing them. That's his computer, and that's what it's showing. So all he did was a screen capture, and that OBS system allows the screen capture. So it just takes whatever's on your computer and captures it so that your audience can see it. That's what OBS does too.
So OBS does all of that, we don't have to have separate software. Oh, that's nice.
So, I mean, this is a perfect example. So let's say I'm doing a podcast on podcasting, and I want to show you guys what website I use to do your podcast.
That's what the audience can see, and that's what he's saying.
So this page that you guys are seeing, the big one, that's what I see. The only thing that would be live is the stuff that you guys are seeing on the right-hand side. So this is the Libsyn page that we're talking about. This is where you host your episodes and stuff. Jesse's been doing more on this. He's kind of taking the lead on this one. But this is where you post your, so you extract your audio file from wherever you recorded, and you upload it to this particular platform here. This then shoots it to iTunes. Just kind of give you guys a reference of what that looks like.
So what are you hooking up to your computer
As far as what, like
as far as,
video or audio?
yeah,
Well, right now, so the H6 is hooked up via USB cable to the computer, and that's just gonna serve as like an audio source, and then the camera is hooked up, that's gonna serve as a video source, and then the OBS is that one software that just kind of meshes it all together and just throws it out.
right, so all the cables that we were talking about and everything, they're all hooked up to your,
Yeah, for the most part,
Desktop.
I don't have any headphones, but yeah,
okay.
yeah, they all run off of this. Let me show you guys so I'll toggle back to this scene here. Get rid of that.
And we're gonna have this redone, and it's gonna be in a lesson format, so you can kind of see everything that's going on. So I'll get that written up, and the video will also be available, so you can do that. But we will help you, but you have to take the initial steps out, at least trying. If you get stuck on something, then we can better help you. But if you're just got the stuff and like, put it together for me, we can't do it.
Yeah, and this is how you guys stream. You guys are seeing that on the screen, right? So this is how you would stream on Facebook. So this would be like the, let's see. So even though I hit start streaming, it's not really streaming yet. But what you gotta do is you're gonna get a sample of what's gonna go live, and that's pretty much it. Like when you go live, this is how you do it. So anytime you guys see my videos, I have to hook up to my Facebook, and then once you're hooked up to your Facebook is the one that serves as the control that, you know, that's when you put your title, that's when you tag whoever you're gonna tag. Obviously you always want that to be public, and I mean, that's it. You go live after that.
I think what we're gonna do is, you and I will start with the podcast stuff first. You and I will get together, and we'll record step by step on how to set it up in Libsyn, and then step by step on how to get, you know, Facebook and where do you have to click, because you just see this, but you don't know how it all happened. Okay, so we'll get all that for you, and then we'll have that written out as well. Again, this is the fast track to getting a really good setup. A lot of people don't have this, but your competition will. Okay, your competition will. So right now you have enough to at least get started with the podcast, right? So you and I will work on at least giving you the how to get Libsyn started. Okay. So right now what you have control of is starting your Facebook Live videos, buying the equipment, and getting ready to start recording these podcasts. You may be ready already, Michelle. All you need to do is just buy the H6, or maybe just go off your phone and just start your first podcast, whatever it may be. But that's the gist of it. Okay. So then I'll record a separate video with him to show you how we set it up through Libsyn, how we set it up through OBS, because I think there's 4 different systems. Yeah, so it's Libsyn, OBS, and then Facebook, how to get it to stream to Facebook. Sound like a plan? Okay, are you guys at least kind of can see yourself going down this process? And again, we gave you a little bit more of the technical side, the more professional side. But again, if you just want to start your podcast by simply recording to your phone, that's as simple as it can be. Just use Libsyn and load it up. But I would highly suggest get good quality audio so that you get more engaging clients. And then from there, your brand grew from there, right?
Yeah, honestly, I mean, it's always hard with videos and stuff to see where leads come from. But my business is picking up a lot. So you're never gonna have somebody say, hey, I called you because I saw this one video. It just happens. But ever since I started doing more consistent videos, I don't know, man, just business is picking up. I have 6 escrows, 6 pre-quals, and that's within the last 2 months. I'm on track to have a pretty decent Q2. And it has to be a direct core. I'm not paying for leads, not doing anything different. The only thing different that I'm doing is putting good quality video out there and just making myself the authority. People that I've never even met reach out, hey.
And by the way, he's only not even 3 years in business.
This will be 3rd year, yeah, barely, June. Yeah. So honestly, it has to be that. Last year around this time, I was doing as much, So it helps. It's just.
It really
just confirms you as
it confirms
as
you.
the guy.
Yeah.
I know him.
Yeah.
I like him. I trust him. That's my realtor.
And people don't get discouraged by the views and the likes. Nobody likes your comments, it's just but they're watching. Like yesterday I had an electrician come out and check out some work that he'd done in my house, and then he referenced the video that I did earlier that day, but he didn't like it or comment it. He's like, oh hey, I saw your video about cleaning the pool, it was funny. I was like, cool, should've dropped a like, but yeah, so don't get discouraged by it. Nobody's.
Yeah, you don't need thousands of views. You don't need thousands of views. Think about what 12 additional transactions a year could actually do for your business. We're talking big money, right? So you got to look at it just at the micro level, just saying, okay, I need to just be able to do this on a consistent basis. And I'm telling you, your brand, your ideas of what you want to showcase to the public will start really you'll start focusing on what that is the more you do it. Okay, the more you do it. You came out with a couple slogans just by doing it on the Facebook Lives. That's going to translate even greater once you start doing these podcasts on a consistent basis. But once you have this set up, you can do, we do a lot of our trainings now. You guys see that, a lot of our trainings now through this same setup. This training right now is through the same setup that I learned from my podcast. I didn't know we were going to go this route, but now we're able to give you more hands-on training because now I have it documented through high-quality cameras. And I've just implemented additional things because of this original setup. So your business could look completely different. How long have you been doing this now?
It'll be 3 years next month.
No, how long have you been doing the podcasting?
So podcasting, Jesse and I, September of last year. My own individual stuff, January this year.
6, 7 months.
Yeah.
6, 7 months.
I think
And Wendy, you joined because you saw him so much, right? Yeah, and they were friends outside of this, and she just saw how much he was out there, and attracted her over here.
Now you know my secrets, Wendy. There's not much to it. Just putting your face out there, honestly.
This will give you the advantage. Now you can also spend that. This is a fraction of what you would pay if you go to things like online leads. Not only that, online leads, there's a lot of follow-up that you have to do because you're chasing. This puts you down as the authority, which means you're going to be attracting individuals to you. Okay, the chasing game is fun, but it gets exhausting. But if you could just put your stake on the ground and say, this is where I'm at, this is what I can do for you on a consistent basis. Let me show you how consistent I am. People are attracted to that consistency. So this is a good way to put that stake on the ground, that flag on the ground, and say, come to me, as opposed to going out and chasing.
Absolutely, man. I've never paid for a single lead. Everything's just coming.
And it's almost like you're going to a listing just to get the paperwork signed.
Yeah, the listing becomes, it's just a signing appointment, not even a listing appointment, signing appointment. Go ahead.
So are you making videos for your clients through the process as well and sending that to them hey, you need to deposit your earnings check or anything like that?
That's a great idea.
But we could.
Yesenia's done that. If you look at Yesenia's first video, she has everything already planned out. So as soon as she gets them under contract, she uses get response to automatically email them to see where they're at in the process. On the first day, hey, congratulations, you've got your contract accepted. Next step is to get the escrow check picked up. And then on day 5, hey, this is where you should sign the spuds by now. Day 10, the 10-day inspection period is over. So she's already done that. You guys do this every single day. You guys explain it every single day.
Yeah.
But a high quality video like that, it's a setup. That's a process in itself.
Okay.
Just
So
the link.
just-
and
Yeah,
just download
and
it.
all she does, as soon as she gets on the contract, her assistant just puts it into get response, and it automatically emails her clients on a specific
Is
day.
that the same thing as Yesware, Get
Yeah.
Response?
Get response is like
Similar.
MailChimp, like autoresponder systems.
Okay.
Or, yeah, you can, a lot of these new CRMs have autoresponder systems. So,
It just goes to show you like how much you can use it for so much different stuff.
Like that's a great one. You know, that's a great idea. I'm going to implement that. So, you know, like that's huge. The fact that you can take it, the software, the programs, the hardware, and do like the testimonial videos with your clients. Like that's all investments. So, like don't think about it just for the podcast. The stuff that you guys purchase can be used for everything in our business. Yeah, yeah.
and understand that I wasn't technically savvy for a long time, and I kind of fell on that crutch that I don't know the technicalities of it. But it's so simple nowadays. It's so simple that it's almost dumb not to do it, you know. And you got to understand that a branch of your business is the marketing aspect of it, and this is where it's going. So be on the forefront with the podcast, and you'll see some other realtors doing it. But it's more than just video now, right? It's now podcasting and going live on a consistent basis, just over delivering on value. What kind of other questions do we have? Who's actually going to start doing this?
Take a picture of who's raising the hands.
Let me see, hands up high, hands up high.
Like, who's gonna start it? Who's gonna start it in the next 30 days? Okay, let's start there. 30 days of videos.
Everybody.
starting today. Who?
Everybody can start that today. You don't need money for that.
Yeah, 30 days of videos. Okay, who's gonna launch their podcast 30 days from now? Or sooner? Okay.
You should tell them what you do about Instagram, like, hey, 5 minutes from now, we're gonna go live, kind of a thing.
Yeah, so what we do, like every time, we didn't do this right now, which I totally forgot.
We
did? Okay.
And it is on Instagram.
When we go live, and this is something that really you should probably do too.
Yeah.
Right before we go live, we just take a quick
I'm still
live
recording,
video
guys,
saying
just
we're about to
recording.
go live type of thing, and what the guests are. So it's just something you can always do for anything, anytime you go live. You guys get that?
Yes. I like that though.
One last
I know it's, how many feel overwhelmed a little bit? A little bit overwhelmed? Okay.
It's exciting.
It's a natural feeling. It's a natural
You
feeling.
know, but once you said just get the H6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that made me
That's
think.
what I'll do. Today I'm going to
Good.
Guitar Center. I'm buying the H6.
Yes.
I know you are too. There you go.
And buy the cable, yeah, you'll probably need if you're gonna use your phone, you'll probably need the little adapter and then the little port for your, yeah. But if you get a DSLR, it just changes, it changes the game altogether. But guess what, you can also use, like Jeanette said, you can also use a webcam. The webcam, right? You can use a regular webcam as opposed to buying a DSLR. So that might be a good idea, just buy a good quality webcam, because that's already got all the software and everything you need to trick your computer into seeing it, okay?
It'll save you a lot of money. Like
Yeah.
if you guys can research and find a good webcam, it'll save you the money of the Blackmagic. It'll save you the money of the DSLR, the lens. It'll save you like $3,000.
Really?
Yeah. And then don't be afraid to use YouTube, how to start a podcast with video, something like that. It's out there. So again, a webcam, a good quality webcam, maybe you go with the webcam as opposed to, because this one right here is, yeah, they're pretty expensive, plus the lenses. You don't need to go that route. If you have one already, then use it. If not, just use a webcam. Okay? Get some good lighting. Go ahead.
I have a question in regards to the podcast. I mean, I think about my challenge that I'm thinking of right now is doing a podcast by myself. Like, should I have like a guest come in, or?
That's all up to you. So like we repurpose a lot of our stuff, like Mindset Monday. It's me by myself, just talking on certain subjects, what I've experienced over the weekend, what I experienced over the week. Our Do the Work podcast, Carla goes on there by herself. Sometimes we go on there together. Well, most of the time we go on together. It's just, you'll find your way. Like, you don't have to have everything figured out. And Michelle, you may think we're going this way, and you'll make a hard right and say, oh no, this is what I really want to talk about. But the key to that is you will never discover if you're trying to figure it out from where you're at right now. You have to take the 2 steps to actually start going, and then you'll see a whole new possibility. So don't try to figure it out right now, because you're just going to rack your brain and be like, I don't know what to talk about. So just move forward, and you can bring
just
people.
like with my open houses, just my
Yeah.
phone and my H6. and just maybe talk about that
Yeah.
open house, neighborhoods, people walking.
Real life examples, what's going on in your life, and how, you know, maybe how you started in this business. There's just so much to talk about, like if you're having a conversation with somebody. And that's why the reps are so important with just the Facebook Lives.
I have a good one. I made a podcast yesterday about pools. You know, that's a subject that's important and it's random.
Is it how you stop being a pool guy, or what?
Yeah, a little bit of that. Yeah, a little bit of what you should do.
The do's and don'ts.
Yeah, the do's and don'ts.
The do's and don'ts,
Yeah, no, but I mean, like last week it was about HOAs. The week before that it was about I don't know, just random stuff. So that's my own personal one that I'm doing.
Here's the thing. It doesn't have to be about real estate specific.
Yeah.
If it's real estate specific all the time, they're gonna tune out. You need to talk about the first time you got on a motorcycle, the time you got into an accident in a motorcycle. Because what they'll see is that they'll automatically tie that into you being a realtor. By the way, guys, I am a realtor here in Phoenix, Arizona. So if you're looking to buy or sell, I'm Miguel. Give me a call. This is Michelle. Until next time, you know, we'll see you then. Anything like that. But talk outside of that.
Yeah.
Whatever you're interested in, family, lessons, working out, just the whole gamut of it. So,
and we've noticed that when we just talk real estate specific on
Yeah,
our
the
podcast,
engagement.
it's the most like there is no
Like,
no
we
one
love it.
watching it.
yeah, sounds good.
But everybody else is like, we want to know about the dumb shit.
Our
you
lender
guys do.
likes it, but everyone else is
And the
just
title
like, tuned
company,
out.
oh, you're so great.
I like
Yeah.
the Game of Thrones.
Yeah, see? Like, that's just dumb, relevant stuff. And one thing, too, that's huge, and if it hasn't been already, you know, obvious, it's don't do your podcast to get like, famous. It's not going to happen. Eventually, it might, maybe if you're that good, but do it for that repetition, do it for that authority. If you're going into creating a podcast because you have this great idea and you think it's going to take off and you're going to have a bunch of followers, it's just a horrible recipe for, you know, it's a recipe for disaster. It's about just that authority. It's about putting yourself out there. It's
And-
about
I'm gonna break it down even greater. Like, how great would it be if future generations are able to hear what's going on in your life right now? Were you able to even hear yourself what was going on at this moment? I can't tell you how much that fuels my ambitions every time I see where I was at and to where I'm at today, and knowing that I have something to leave behind. Like, I would love to know what my great-grandparents were doing. I know nothing about them. That part of history is forgotten forever. So now you have something to leave behind where your great-grandkids, like Carla told us, it was so powerful, you know, where she says, I'm leaving this for my daughter, so when she's in this place and in this place where she thinks she can't move forward, she can listen to my podcast and understand that I was in that same place too, and look what I did to persevere. So I'm leaving that legacy behind for her to be able to reflect on it, to be able to, you know, use it as a way to fuel her desires and her future. So this is good. For anything, it's just leaving a part of you for future generations and for yourself, the future you, where you can go back and say, look how silly, or I remember this time, or it's amazing what that does for you.
Yeah, very true. Yeah, so many fans, family too, nieces, nephews, that they think like you're a YouTube star.
That's pretty cool.
You walk in and you know they just think because what they see on TV is you know what they see you as. They don't know the difference. So that part's pretty cool.
I know there's a lot to this, but you know, our foundation is very different, I think, from what other brokers are, is because we're constantly just pushing marketing and highlighting you and who you are, because that's exactly where your clients are going to come from. So, you know, doing these videos, these Facebook videos, number one, you have to still do them, and adding this component to it would just raise your game to another level. It's done ours. Amazing. Any other questions, comments?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rio.
Yeah, of course.
All right, to close this off, thank you for joining us for another episode of The Main Focus, and we'll talk to you next time. Bye now.